Perfect fit closets. Using the 2020 design program, we're going to talk about using our catalog, Perfect Fit Closets. We have the Canadian catalog as well as the US catalog. And today we're going to talk about automatic hardware versus adding extra hardware. Our automatic hardware, we're going to use the drag and drop graphical items into the design, which comes along with parts. And we have extra hardware, where we can drag and drop non-graphical items into the design. I have my 2020 platform open. On the left-hand side, I've got the Perfect Fit Canada Canadian catalog. I'm going to go ahead. I've got the closet section and garage section, and let's go ahead into my modules, into my closet section, and we're going to drag and drop a tall module. I'm going to go to my farthest left once I see my magnet and let go of my mouse. A new dialog box appears, and I'm just going to go ahead and just drop it in. Now that it's dropped in, I'm going to go into my item list to identify all the parts that are associated. There are two ways to figure out what parts are associated with which modules and so forth. The first way is I can right-click the tall module, left-click attributes, and underneath my general tab on the bottom left-hand side, we know that one module has got a panel on the left, panel on the right. It comes with a bottom shelf, a top shelf, and a toe kick. For our parts, we know that it's going to come with a single bolt single. We have cams, and we have one bolt doubles. Same thing for our tops, as well as our toe kicks. So it comes with all these parts. We've dragged and dropped the items, and all the parts and fasteners come with it. I can also verify. I can right-click anywhere off-screen on the elevation view or the top view. I can right-click off-screen, left-click Show Item Lists, and the item list populates. I have my quantity, user code, manufacturing code. If I want to see the descriptions, I can right-click anywhere off-screen in the dark gray area, left-click on Display Settings, and underneath the General tab, underneath columns, I'm going to left-click Description, Apply, and OK. The description column has now populated, and I can see the exact same items. The tall module with the panels is coming in with the fixed shelf, and it's coming in with a quantity of 5 single bolt singles, 5 fixed shelf cams in white, and so forth. So these are all the items that come with it. If you take a look, we'll actually go back into our item list or show it design. If you take a look at any one of our modules or parts, so for example, our parts, we have these drag and drop options here. If I double click on our panels, we can drag and drop our options here. But there's going to be some areas where we want to add extra hardware. If you want to add extra hardware or extra parts that are non-graphical, we have to manually add these. So for example, if we go into our accessories, all these items are located here. We can go into our pullout as an example. And here we have graphical drag and drop. So I can easily drag and drop these graphical items, and it attaches right on the graphics. If I keep scrolling below, I have another section that says non-graphical. These items need to be used in item lists. We also have a note that says, for example, tie rack, hardware included. So we know that the hardware is included, but we can actually drag and drop this part non-graphical. It won't show up on here. If I try to drag a non-graphical item in here, you can see from a mouse pointer, I can't drop it in. If I let go of mouse, we have a new box that says you cannot place this item on the floor plan or elevation view. Use the item list to automatically add these. So now we can right-click, go into our show item list. In our show item list at the very bottom, we have our items, calculated items, and accessories extra costs. This is where I would like to add extra items. I can go back into our accessories, go back into pullouts. We can't use the graphical drag and drop, but if we keep scrolling down, we could then use the tie rack, non-graphical, drag it in to my accessories extra cost tab, select my quantity, and we can right-click, go to display settings again, check the description, and we can see that the tie rack 14-inch has been now included. This is not in the design. We can right-click, go back to show item design, and the tie rack is no longer there, just my original tie rack that I originally put in there. So this is great for our graphical and non-graphical items. Let's show another example. I can go to handles. Handles, non-graphical. These need to be used in the item list. So again, we can drag and drop these items and they will not show up on our design. But if you want to add extra parts, we could also go into our categories, into our hardware. And in our hardware, we have also non-graphical parts. We can add an adjustable shelf pins, shelf support glass pins, flat screws, and a bunch of different fasteners that we can certainly add. Sometimes installers want more, or if the dealer wants to supply themselves with extra parts for future, in the event that the installer loses some fasteners down the heat register, or they lose a box, you can always go to the show item list, drag and drop all your parts, and place your order. So again, to paraphrase, we have automatic hardware and adding extra hardware. If you would like to drag and drop our regular components, all the hardware comes with it, and this is automatic. If we're drag and dropping parts and components and that we need to add extra hardware to it, we need to go into our item list and drag and drop the non-graphical items, and we're going to be using the accessories extra cost tab. If you have any questions, please do contact us at support@perfectfitcanada.com, making your life easier.